This week I've been playing around with a new build that ties in about 4 different damage buffs that all interact with one another at different times throughout my matches, making sure that whenever I'm outnumbered, I can basically count on having follow-up damage that is roughly 55% damage increase. And that's huge. I'm going to quantify that for you in a way that makes sense and is tangible, right? With the Aisha's Embrace, you'll notice that my first kill will be your typical 5-tap at an optimal TTK of 0.93 seconds. But then my follow-up kill is basically a supercharged scout rifle that changes the required hits from 5 all the way down to 3. Remember that when Trustee came out, and then things like Servant Leader and Contingency Plan was reissued, everyone was basically, they were posting videos on the rolls that you would need in order to bring these rapid-fire scout rifles down from 5 taps to a 4-tap kill. And that's a big buff. It usually included something like multi-kill clip or adrenaline junkie or even high-impact reserves with the Trustee, where people were dumping ammo into the wall before engaging a target. Well, with this Aisha build, you can take it to the next level in a way that you can't with the other rapid-fire frame scouts. And you can have a rapid-fire frame scout rifle that 3 taps at lightning speeds with 73 damage per hit. Now, to put that into perspective, a 140 hand cannon, it's sort of like the baseline for comparisons in terms of primary TTKs, right? A 140 hand cannon requires 3 headshots, okay? It 3 taps, and it does so at an optimal TTK of 0.87 seconds. My Aisha will be 3 tapping as well, but instead of doing it at a 140 RPM, it'll be doing it much faster at a 221 rounds per minute rate of fire. Guys, let me save you the trouble of trying to figure out how fast this Aisha can kill at a 58% RPM buff over a 140 hand cannon, okay? It's about half a second. You're going to be killing people in about half a second. So let's dive into the nitty-gritty of this build so that you can start going ham on people with this build today. Now, there are a lot of moving parts to this build. Lots of different damage buffs playing and interacting with each other. The ticket to success here is understanding. You need to learn what actions precipitate extra damage so that you know what to expect from your weapon, because the damage output is going to be constantly changing. So I'll try to take this slow and explain each buff and each action that precipitates a buff one at a time. First, at the base level of this build, you need 2 things, and it'll get more complex from there. But you need 2 things. First is an Aisha's Embrace with Adagio. This is the Trials Scout Rifle that came out this season. It's pretty easy to get your hands on one of these things. You play Trials, you get engrams, and you say, hey, I want the Aisha, okay? Now, I have a video called Stop Sleeping on This Perk. I think this is what it's called. Stop Sleeping on This Perk, and it's about Adagio. And I break down Adagio on the Aisha, and I posted that video on March 27th. So I'll include a link to that video in the description if you want to go check that out and you want to know the details about how this works. But to sum that video up, Adagio is going to take a 260 RPM scout rifle that does 47 damage per headshot, and it's going to turn it into a 221 RPM scout rifle that does 61 damage per headshot, and therefore reduce the overall TTK, making it the fastest killing scout rifle archetype with the buff active by a landslide. Now, the second thing that you're going to need is the Mantle of Battle Harmony exotic chest piece. Now, as a quick refresher on this exotic, if you don't have your super cooled down yet, then any kill you get with a weapon matching your subclass element, in this case Void, will grant you extra super energy so that you'll get your super faster than you would without the exotic equipped. The goal is to help you get your super as quickly as possible if you're getting kills. Once your super is cooled down, any kill you get with an energy weapon matching your subclass element, Void, is going to queue up a 20% damage buff called Absorption Cells to all Void weapons. So at the base level of this build, you're stacking Adagio after you get that first kill with your scout rifle. You're stacking Adagio with Absorption Cells. Both of those buffs are going to kick in simultaneously after that first kill. And you're going to get a double buff to your scout rifle and make it a 3-tapping monster with a TTK of, half a second. Those damage buffs, they stack. It's incredible. It's just incredible. Now, we take this several steps further. Okay? Follow me here. Next, I'm going to use Empowering Rift. so that I have another damage buffing option, especially for those fights that I have before my super's cooled down, right? When I don't have my super yet. When in an Empowering Rift, I can 4-tap regularly with the Scout Rifle, and then Adagio kicks in, and it gives me the 3-tap afterward, even though I don't have Absorption Cells up yet. And Empowering Rifts are easier to take advantage of when you're using a Scout Rifle or a long-range Pulse Rifle, because you're not right up in the mix. You can put it down on the corner of a lane, and then peek out while in the Rift, and get that nice 4-tap, and then the follow-up 3-tap. So far you've got Adagio on an Aisha's Embrace, you've got the Mantle of Battle Harmony on Nova Bomb, and you have the Empowering Rift equipped as well. But we're going to take this even further. I'm also going to be using the Precision Charge mod. This is going to give me a stack of Charged with Light after rapid Scout Rifle kills, which is, you know, what this whole build is about doing. So I'm also going to equip High Energy Fire, so that whenever I'm charged with light, I'm going to be pumping out extra weapon damage until I get a kill. So High Energy Fire is going to be kicking in the middle of my engagements often in this gameplay, just giving me another huge damage boost from time to time, helping me secure those extra kills. So the thing about these perks, Precision Charge, that's something that's going to happen organically as you're using the build, and it's just going to compound your damage even further. So Precision Charge, you get rapid scout kills, bam, you get charged with light. Immediately, since you're charged with light, you're going to get the High Energy Fire damage buff until you get a kill and consume that buff. So that's just the cadence here. Just constantly getting damage buffs from Adagio, High Energy Fire, and the Absorption Cells. It's just fan-freaking-tastic. So now we've got those 4 different damage buffs coming and going throughout our matches, but I'm going to take it a step further. Why just have the damage buffs working to help one weapon when I could have them working to buff my kinetic weapon as well? So you see, I have Traveler's Chosen equipped in my kinetic slot. Now this exotic sidearm has a catalyst, and that catalyst does a few things, but most importantly, it gives the sidearm the perk Osmosis. Osmosis is an interesting perk. It's not overly well used or optimized in PvP. Most people don't use it. Basically, Osmosis makes it so that whenever you throw a grenade while you have this weapon out, it will change the weapon to an energy weapon matching the element of your subclass, in this case, Void. And you see where this is going. So if my Traveler's Chosen is doing Void damage, then it's helping me get my super cooled down more quickly. And because it's now interacting with the Mantle of Battle Harmony. That also means that when my super is cooled down, it's also getting the damage buff from the Absorption Cells. That's going to bump this sidearm up to 61 damage per headshot. Now that also means I'm getting its damage buffed when I'm in my Rift as well, on top of all that. But I'm also going to make some room on my armor for the Swift Charge mod. This is going to give me a stack of Charged with Light whenever I get rapid sidearm kills. And then that in turn is going to activate High Energy Fire as well. So holy cow, there you have it. Damage buff after damage buff after damage buff. This whole build is about momentum and a lot of it. So hopefully you can put this power to good use and start smacking people around in the Crucible with it. Thanks for tuning in and watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed the gameplay illustrating this build in motion, in real time, and you can see just how frequently these buffs are kicking in and helping me win gunfights against multiple people. Let me just remind you quickly that if you want to see some of my best moments with these builds that I post, the guns I'm reviewing here on my main channel, you can check out my Clips channel, which is just short videos of big plays that happen live on stream, where we do really cool stuff. So if that interests you, go on over to True Vanguard Clips on YouTube, or look at the pinned comment on this video where I will post a link to that channel. You can click on it, follow the link, subscribe to that channel as well. Thanks so much for supporting my channel. Please feel free to leave a like in the video, only if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for additional Destiny 2 content. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.